good morning, or good afternoon, as per your respective time zones. On behalf of entire Mastek Managed Services team, we would like to welcome you all to 23A PPM Advisory Webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with new features and functionalities as a part of quarterly release which Oracle provides. My name is Komal Abel and I am an operations executive at Managed Services team Mastek. Today I am your host for this session. I am glad to introduce my colleague Ami Jhatakia, who is part of our vast finance PPM team at Mastek. Today, she will take us through all the project portfolio management updates for 23A quarterly release. Today's session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes. We will make sure that we also leave some time to answer all your questions if you have any. Before we move to agenda, let's have a quick look at the important disclaimer. Moving ahead to agenda. We would like to convey you our approach towards Oracle update in a very simpler method. We will be taking you through vital analysis of 23A updates done by our experts, which will help you in incorporating new features and updates easily into the system. Also, we will sync you on any known issues or bugs. It's always good to have interactive session, so please do ask questions. You can ask questions through chat or question panel. We will answer them at the end of the session. And in case we run out of time, please do not worry. We shall respond you back by connecting you at a later stage. This is to give you a glimpse of how we have created the structure of this session. List of new features coming in 23A. Detailing on features so you get brief understanding on what new features are all about. Next one is what are the business benefits and the important takeaway for you as a decision maker. There are four components where we have done in-depth analysis of features which are going to present to you. First one is impact analysis, which demonstrates the impact on the end user. If it is low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it is high, then we need to opt for regression testing. Second one is which is we all are aware that there are some features which are by default auto enabled by Oracle and there are some which we need to opt for. Third one highlights the nature of the feature where there would be certain configurations which may be required or some can be used without any changes. Last one is quick win. This term we use to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and effort to make use of this feature. Before we move ahead, we would like to know with the help of a quick poll which industry does your organization belong to. Launching the poll on your screen. Thank you all for participating. Now I would hand over this PPT to Ami and she will take us ahead.
Thank you so much, Komal. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to your respective time zones. I am Ami Jatakia, a PPM consultant from Mastek. Here, welcome you to all for the quarterly upgrade 23A. So let's quickly start and look forward to the what are the new features that are included in the 23A. So here we are bifurcated the features in the three different criteria. So in the 23A, Oracle come up with the 26 new features in the bifurcations of there are 14 features that are not quick win features. So these particular features require the high level of the configuration, setup, and the regression testing before enabling into the system. There are two features. There are the opt-in features. So if we need to opt these particular features in the new features availability, then we can able to use these particular two features. And the another 10 features that are quite quick win features. So once the instant is upgraded with the 23A, you can easily use these particular features in the UI. So with this particular 23A release, Oracle take the so many ideas. So it is always good to raise an idea with the Oracle, and Oracle always pick those ideas in the another quarterly release. Now let's quickly move to the quick win features. As mentioned by the Komal on the previous slide, here we mentioned the impact analysis. In the impact analysis, you can quickly check if the configuration is required, if the quick win is yes or no, and how to enable. So the first feature is Oracle Digital Assistance for the project time capture and the project management skill enhancement. So there is a digital assistance is available in the Oracle UI. But with this enhancement, Oracle come up with the project time capture and the skill enhancement. So if any particular project, if you want the detail regarding the time of the particular person. So let's take the example if you want to know that one particular person is how much do the overtime on the particular project or a particular subject area. So you just create the conversational chat with the Oracle to the chat or the voice interface, and you will get to know about the time captures available in the particular project. So that will give you to easy data that you no need to go to the UI and navigate to the particular project. The next feature Oracle come up with the project costing subject area. So in this particular slide, you will see there are the two new enhancements in the OTBI report. The first enhancement is in the unprocessed transactions real-time OTBI subject area enhancement. In this particular subject area, Oracle gives the two new subjects. That is, the one is count of the costed transactions and the count of the uncosted transactions. So previously, if on particular business unit or on a particular project, if you want to check that how many unprocessed transactions are lying, we need to go to the UI and we need to check the counts over there. But with this enhancement, we just simply check the count of the unprocessed transactions that are lying against the project. The second OTBI enhancement Oracle come up with the award funding real-time OTBI subject area enhancement. So whatever the grant entity, unique entity is there, Oracle is giving the new column in the award funding real-time OTBI subject area. These both the features are quite quick wins, so we no need to do any extra configurations for the same. The next feature is Oracle come up with the project issue task association. So previously in the manage work item, if we need to create any issues, we are creating the issues in the work items, but the same issues we are not able to link with the project task. But with these new changes, we now able to link the issues with the project task. So if anything update on the issues page, we no need to do a duplications of the work, and the same particular issues directly we are able to update and close uh, through only one single work page area, that is from the manage work items. So that will be a very time saving activity, and it will be a very useful to the project managers. They are just now update the project issues, create the issues that will be update in the manage project task. And if anything, if the task is completed, the same is also updated in the manage project task as well. This is the same feature like the issue. So if in the innovation management, if we create any proposal, previously we are unable to map those proposals with the managed project task. So with this enhancement, we are now create the proposal in the work item in the innovation management, and the same proposal we are map those proposal in the managed project task. So if anything update in the proposal subject area, if we are approved the proposals and we complete the proposal task, these particular completions of the task are directly mapped with the managed project task area. So this is also a time saving activity, and there is a no duplications of the same work in the different UI subject area. The next feature is financial project plan update using the file-based data input. So this is a very good feature that Oracle come up with. Previously, if we need to create any particular resources in the managed project task, that will be a very easy to create the resources with the FBDI template. But what if there is any scope change in the project, of it, if the scope reduce in the project, if there is any requirement of to change the quantity, so the same is not able to do through the FBDI template. So we need to go to the UI page, we are navigate to the each particular task, and we need to update the resources manually. But with these changes in the FBDI template, now Oracle came up with the two different processing modes. The first is we need to create, or the second one is update. The create one is already available with the Oracle UI, but now we are able to update these particular resources. So if we need to change the quantity, or we need to end date, or we need to extend the time of the particular resources, that can be easily updated through this FBDI template. So with this, we are reduce the maintenance efforts of the project manager through the FBDI template. The next feature is there is only a one get API is Oracle introduced in the project assets subject area. So there are so many assets are assigned assets and non-assigned assets is available in the assets project assets subject area. So with this particular get API, we can able to get those particular asset data, and when we are associated those particular assets with the particular project through this REST API command. So this is the get API through which we are able to retrieve the asset lining data. And on the basis of the same, if we need to innovate any integration, that can be easy for the create any reports or integrations on the basis of the same. The next feature is award funding amounts updates on the contract. So with this new enhancement, if any particular uh, award is created in the grant management, so once the award is created or funding is raised, on the basis of the same, the contract header is created, and once the award is submitted, the contract line is created and submitted. But what if the funding amount is changed? So we need to go to the UI page, we need to amend the contract, and we need to modify the contract lines manually uh, before introducing this feature. But now if the funding amount is updated, we are just update the funding amount in the manage award funding page, that will be seamlessly amend the contract, modify the contract line amounts as per the update the funding lines, and it will be submit if we done the update the contract button. So that will be a very streamlining the funding activities. Previously, we need to create any report and we are just check the if the funding is sync with the contract or if funding is the out of sync with the contract. But with this enhancement, funding is always synchronized with the contract page, and there is no any extra effort that we need to do to amend the contract and update the funding amount in the contract page. Next feature is Oracle come up with the rounding rule changes to the display of the rounded currency amount of the project. Previously in the Oracle, in the UI page, Oracle using the half even funding rule. So for example, if our particular value is 2.905, the third digit is equal to 5, then UI page always displays the rounding of the half even. So they are using the logic of a 2.90. But all the reports or while we extract the data in the Excel, there is always a rounding rule is always use the half of rounding rule. So in that cases, we always facing the issues of the data reconciliation while exporting or using any particular report to the Oracle. So with this enhancement, Oracle changed the logic of the managed project subject area, managed project costing, and now managed project costing, we are able to see any particular quantity with the half of rounding rule. So whatever if the third digit of after the decimal is equal to 5, then the rounding rule should be the half of. So that should be the 2.91. So it will be easy to reconcile the data with the UI and the extract reports. So this is all about the quick win features. Now we are moving to the opt-in features. So these two features that are opt-in features in the Oracle UI. The first feature is manually enter the revenue amounts written on the financial plan. So previously the manual entry is available with the UI page, but if we change any row cost, burden cost or a quantity, and if we are doing the refresh plan rates in the manage forecast or manage budget area, then the forecast amount or a revenue amount will be the updated with on the basis of the amount that is modified on the rate schedules or a labor costing override rate. But with this enhancement, if we are updated with the manual entry and we able check the written overhead rate from the sources, so if anything happens with the row cost, quantity or burden cost or any rates are updated in the rate schedule, that should not be impacted in the budget and forecasts. So the whatever the revenue is generated on the basis of the manual entry, it should be kept as it is. Whatever the rates is updated in the UI. The next opt-in feature is common rates for the project labor resources across the financial and work planning. So this is also the rate related enhancement is Oracle came up with. So while adding any particular resource in the managed project resources subject area, previously if we are able to add the resources, but if we need to update the rates, either we check the rates from the rate schedule or labor costing override rules, override as the costing subject area are defined. But with this enhancement, if we add the resources or if we add the project role on the basis of the same, whatever the costing rule are defined in the system on the basis of the same, rates will automatically picked up. So there is a no any descriptions is in the rate, and there is no any deviations that shows in the rates available now onwards. So it is the accurate data while adding any resources or create any resources and manage labor resources. Let's quickly move to the non-quick win features. So with this, all the features there are enhancement and configurations and setups are required. The first feature is get a newsfeed suggestions on your text likely actions. So with this particular enhancement, on the basis of the historic data, if any particular new user created, let's take the example with the project manager. So if any particular new project manager is created, so on the basis of the historic data, Oracle give you the fit suggestions. What is your likely next action? So if on particular date, if they are referring any particular report, Oracle give you the suggestions on a feed that you are likely to visit this particular report. You are just visiting the supplier invoices to generate the invoices. So these particular suggestions are provided by the artificial intelligence and the machine learning process algorithm in the newsfeed. In every time, if we are opt for this particular newsfeed suggestions, so they will guide you to the navigations as well. So there are so many options and tools are available in the UI. So there is always a tricky to remember all the navigations. So with this particular enhancement, Oracle give you the navigations as well. That first you go to the contract page, then you just navigate to the manage invoice page. So that will be a very easy suggestions for the new users or those who are new with this Oracle UI. The next feature is resource pre-validations when exporting the project from the Microsoft project to the project management. So the header itself says that previously, if we are exporting the resource detail from the Microsoft project subject area, Microsoft tool to the Oracle project, uh, it will give you not the error. So if any particular resource is not available in the UI, or resource is undated or resource is not active resources, then this particular new enhancement gives you the error that the resource creation wasn't available or likewise. So while we exporting at the same time we got the error. Previously it is exported, but the errors we are able to see through the UI. So there are so many dependencies on the processes that are completed afterwards. We need to rectify the errors. But with this enhancement on the same particular Microsoft subject area, we are recorrect the errors, we are correct the resources, and we are export the details from the Microsoft project. The next feature is program action plan and issues. Program management is altogether a new functionality that Oracle come up with in a 22B. So I'll give you the short overview that program is the set of the project that you are collectively create a group, and on the basis of the program you will better analyze it, and you can mitigate the risk on the bulk program. So with this enhancement, program manager create an action plan for the stakeholders or a team. So if any particular action item is created, that will give you the timeline as well. So if you go to the supplier invoices, or you need to create the budget versions, it will create a one action item for the particular project manager or a particular program team. It will give you the deadline as well, that before this particular end date you need to create the budget for those particular projects, or you need to roll out your supplier invoices. So this will give you the deadlines with the plans as well. So you are just update your action items on the everyday tracker basis. It will track your each and every actions that you are collectively take on the UI, and you will update the same. So it will be easy for the program manager to manage the program and uh, update the statuses, and on the basis of the same it will give you the overview that where your program is actually the stands for. So this is the new program management feature that will give you the help to the program manager uh, to better the program itself. The another program management feature is the program management enhancement for the reporting and the stakeholder communication. So with this particular new feature, program manager publish a program communication report to the stakeholders to share the health of the program. And with this particular enhancement, the stakeholders or a program manager or the team members can download this particular report on the PDF format, and they can evaluate the program or the health of the program by their end. Next feature, Oracle came up with the automatic release on the approval of a project contract invoices. So what is existing steps of the contract invoices, that we create the invoices on the draft status, then we are need to submit the invoices, then we are approving the invoices, then the next step is we are release those invoice, and the further step is we transfer the invoice to the receivables. So there are a 5 hierarchical steps we need to perform while creating any particular contract invoices. But with this enhancement, we are able to skip the release status. So if we don't opt for the release status, so at any particular given time, if any invoice is generated in the draft status, and on the basis of the workflow, if the invoice submitted, it will be become auto approval, and if we skip for the release, then it will be directly allowed to the transfer. So sometimes it is not always required to do all the manual process for all the organizations. So with this new enhancement, we can now skip the release status of the invoices. The next feature is increase the limit in assigned project process configurator for a revenue or invoice method. So if we are create any fixed fee revenue recognitions model on the basis of the business requirements, or we are creating any cost of goods sales different configurator of accrual or reversal basis. But with this But with this configurator, at present in the UI, there are a 5 configurator we are allowed to do. So if we are creating the more number of the revenue or invoice recognition configurator method, then we are create the multiple revenue and invoice method. But with this enhancement, now we are allowed to do up to the 10 configurator in the revenue and invoice method. So we are now allowed to more of we can go for the COGC reversal or accrual configurator, and on the basis of the same, it will be a very easy to recognize the revenue and invoices. The next feature is project contract invoice update using a REST API. So with this particular feature, now we are able to update the contract invoices to the REST API. So we are updated the contract header, contract invoice header, and a contract invoice line. So that will be a very easy to do any development with the REST API. So we do any automations if we need to update the data in the bulk. Or let's take the example on the line level, if we need to update the text code, so that will be a very easy now onwards, that we are doing a if particular on the basis of the particular business unit or for particular selected project, if we need to update some text codes or any particular informations or any particular comments, now we can do with the REST API automation. So that will be a give you the better enhancement in the managed contract invoice subject area. The next feature is X-tool reported at a level plan on the task hierarchy. So previously we are budgeting on the middle task or a summary task. But if we are on the equivalent, if we need to create the forecast on the summary or a middle task, that should not be a possible, just because of we are only 3 planning options available in the forecast subject area. The first is project, the second is project and all tasks, and project and a top task. So if we are doing the forecast and project and top task, that should not be a give you the proper overview. So always the team needs to be the manually calculations and avoid the take the extra effort to calculate the uh, ETC and EAC on the summary task. And if we are opt for the project and all tasks, that will be a huge data to maintain, and it will be take a risk even. So now onwards, we are doing with this particular subject area. Now we can able to uh, forecast on the summary task as well. So with this changing in the project plan type and financial plan type, and the same while we creating the forecast, we are just opt for the summary task creation forecast method. So now further onwards, if we need to create the ETC and EAC, we are creating for the summary task or a middle level task as well. The next feature is project forecast with the periodic columns, advanced resource sections, and the multiple version views. This is a very new feature, and I must say this is a very new user experience in the managed project forecast subject area. With this particular feature, Oracle gives you the forecast page look and feel as equivalent to the budget subject area. And Oracle gives you also the choice that if we are want to go for the classic version, so the classic version is at present available in the UI. This is the new enhancement version. So this is the equivalent with the budget page, and the another option is user interface. So whatever the user is likely to opt, so they can even switch the versions or the view as per your convenience. So this particular new forecast versions give you the quick overview as you can able to see on my screen. It will give you the easy to create the version options is equivalent to the budget screen. With this particular enhancement, there is a one advanced feature is available with the resource selection. So the resource assignment on the 22D, they will give you the resource assignment in the project plan task area. But with this now you can assign the resources on the very quickly manner. So that will give you the huge user experience in the forecast page, and the another new feature that are come up with the multiple versions. So now you can view the particular forecast versions on the same particular screens as well. So this altogether a new forecast enhancement screen with this particular subject area. This another feature is additional payload attribute for the project status workflow. So we are changing the project status, like if we are draft project or new project, we need to change the project status to the open active or a active subject area. But what if we need to create any restrictions? For example, if we need to restrict the project status change if the forecast version is not created or the forecast version is not approved, so we can now onwards restrict the change of the project subject project status subject area. So we can do a restrictions on the basis of the budget subject area, forecast subject area, or project plan subject area. So if any we can restrict like the particular approved forecast version is not created with this against for particular project, we are unable to change the project status. So this is the new payload attribute are introduced in the project status workflow. The another feature is enhance the talent profile for the project resource request and the fulfillment. So in this particular new enhancement of the resource management, now we can altogether a uh, new content is enabled with the section. So if we need to search the resources on the basis of the sections, like if we are looking forward for the functional resources with the preferences of the languages, or if we are looking for any technical resources on the basis of their functional competencies. So now onwards, if we need to search any particular resources, there is a one section is added on the basis of the same. You are on the basis of the template, you are creating the sections as well on basis of your preferences. So you can create the sections like the functional or a technical, and now you can do a advanced filter with this particular section. So that will give you the proper resource data available in the system, and that will be a very resource sustainability while creating or any particular resources adding in the managed project subject area. The next feature is the apply the budgetary control on the internally sourced requisitions extend to the project. So mainly, basically, there are two kind of requisitions that are um, um, organization is opt for. So first is the internal requisition. So if any particular item that are sourced internally from the one project to the another project, then another one is the external requisitions. So in this particular external requisitions at present in the UI, there is a budgetary control field is available. So if we are doing any requisitions outside from the external source, so we can do a reserve funds against the requisitions, and we can also apply the budgetary control over there. But the internally requisitions in at present in the system, the budgetary control and the reserve fund functionality is not available. So with this enhancement, now if we are doing any internal requisitions from the one project to the another project, you can also apply the budgetary control on this particular requisition. You can reserve the funds, and once you're doing the import costing or import process, the fund reserve process on the basis of your workflow set, that will be a start working. And the budgetary control functionality is also enabled with the internal source requisition. The next feature is budget account deviation for the cost adjustment. So while let's take the example, if we transfer the cost from the one project to the another project, it will be give you the proper SLA distributions in the general ledger level. But if any budget accounts there or budgetary control on this particular costing subject area, then it will give you not the proper SLA. So in that always scenario, let's take the example, if we transfer the cost from the budget cost from the 101 to the 117, so the GL costing is transferred properly and it is cost adjusted is properly, but in the budget it is always lacking that the this particular cost not transfer showingly on the correct budget area. With this particular enhancement, we can also add the budget account number, and with this budget account number, while we transfer the cost from the one project to the another project, the budget account is also transferred from the one project to the another project, another account transaction subject area. So that will be always easy while transferring the cost. And in both the cases now, SLA will there is no any descriptions is in the SLA subject area. The next feature is multiple accounts and the letter of the credit for the sponsors. So for the particular grant project, there are possibilities that there are multiple uh, fundings are available from the different sources. So let's take the example with this particular subject area, that the national institutions of the health, who is the main sponsors, but they are sponsoring the funds from for the different departments, like the National Health Institute funding the source from the Eye Institute. They are also funding some of the sponsors the fund from the Heart Institute, and there are also sponsors the funds from the Lung Institute as well. So in all the scenario, there are a different accounts over there. So it will be a not easy to give the letter of the credits from the different account previously, as we have only liability to add a one account number with for any particular sponsor. But with this enhancement, we can add the multiple account number against the one sponsor, and on the basis of the same, we can able to issue the letter of the credit for the multiple account number against the one sponsor. The next feature for the grant management is the project cost distributions using the award funding patterns. So, with this particular subject, costing subject area, if we need to distribute the cost for the different sponsors or different funding, just because of there are multiple sponsors against the one project, and we need to distribute this particular uh, sponsors in the different amount of the percentage, then it will be give you the easy distribution uh, for the project costing. and we can create the funding patterns that we can create the XYZ on the 20% or these particular sponsors on the 30%. So now onwards, if we need to create any particular costing, that will be a bifurcated those costs on the basis of the distribution structures that we are able to add on against the particular sponsors or particular costing subject area. So this is all about the new features uh, that are coming up with the 23A. Now I'm handed over to the my host Komal. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ami, for wonderful insights. So, here is the poll. Please do let us know your area of interest, whether it is managed services, innovation technologies, or cloud transformation. So, now you will receive an email in next couple of days' time, wherein presentation and session recordings would be available to you at a single click. If you want, you can speak to your support managers or CES service managers for additional services. Before you leave us, we would like to have a quick feedback on today's session. Please rate your overall experience with today's session. Thank you all for participating. And with this, we come to the last poll of the session. We would like to know, have you attended any previous advisory sessions? Thank you all. Have a good day.